Hey, fellow homeschoolers, this is Kirk Smith with ICHE. I'm going to talk to you about HB2827 to give you a quick update. It is Monday, May the 12th, about 11:30 at night. And the reason I'm giving you this update is I've seen several posts now that are claiming absolute victory over HB2827. And while I am indeed very optimistic that this bill will not be called for a vote on the House floor and not make it to the Senate, we cannot say this bill is dead or it's killed, because it is not. Folks, as I shared in a previous video, there have been times in the last week of the session that they've taken a very bad bill, a very unpopular bill, a very controversial bill like HB2827, and try to sneak it into a shell bill and pass it through, ram it through, slide it through, whatever language you want to use, in the last week of session. So to be accurate, the bill is not dead. We want to stay very attentive to these last few weeks of the legislative session. And folks, I want to tell you what a great job you've done. You have overwhelmed the Capitol with record numbers in witness lists and in your attendance. But having said that, we need something else from you. Homeschoolers are great to show up when the battle is intense, but we need to have you stay a steady part of this battle, because, again, it's not going to go away. One of the representatives just shared a town hall meeting. They're going to be having town hall meetings to inform people, about this bill, which would suggest, number one, they don't have the votes this time, but number two, they're going to try to bring it up again in the future. One homeschooling mom of ICHE said that she was talking to one of the co-sponsors and said they were having a very pleasant conversation. All of a sudden, this representative's demeanor changed, and she said, "You will report to us." It wasn't, "We're just trying to do this for the children, for the abused children." Folks, do you realize, once again, every single example they've used of abuse has not come from within the homeschool community. It's come from the public school community into the homeschooling community. These parents were public school parents who were abusing their kids, and now for some reason they want to assume that homeschoolers are guilty of abusing our kids until proven innocent. That is such a sham. It is going against the will of the people. It is such a political atrocity that must be called out. For those of you who live in these representatives' districts, you need to hold them accountable. There's an election cycle coming up again next week, or next year rather, and you need to remind these people, you represent us. You don't represent some small little organization out in Massachusetts. You are to represent the will of the people here in Illinois, and specifically in your own district. Another homeschooling mom of ICHE shared that she shared her concern with another, I think it was another co-sponsor, not 100% sure, about 9% sure, another co-sponsor. And she said her representative got so mad at her when she asked to have a picture taken with her and the kids that have the representative being there. The representative refused to. Her own constituent with little kids there would not even show them the public courtesy, the public service courtesy of having a picture taken with one of her own constituents. That is the mentality that we are dealing with here. So we are already having meetings for next year's strategy. We were, I think, pretty prepared this last session, but we want to be more intentional, more focused, and more energized. We want to make sure these folks know we're not going to go away. This is going against the will of the people. This is going against the present legislative statutes for Illinois homeschool. It's taken Illinois back 75 years. We go from being a progressive state to a regressive state, and these people need to be called out. Now, as we strategize, we'll be communicating that to you throughout the summer when the timing's right, when it's inappropriate. But until then, we want to encourage you two things. Above all, we are Illinois Christian educators. Keep on praying. Folks, pray for victory over this bill, but pray for these people, many of whom are lost. I don't know the spiritual condition of all of them, but we can pretty well assume that some of them are lost. They need Jesus Christ. And the Bible also says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. This is a spiritual battle, and we must keep that in mind going forward. These people are souls made in the image of God. I believe the bill is evil. I believe the intent here is not what it's being suggested to be. But still, we want to pray for these people, for God to show his mercy to them as he has for us. I also want to encourage you, in addition to prayer, in addition to staying a part of the conversation going forward this summer, I want to encourage you maybe now to call your representative if he or she has been for us and just say, hey, thanks once again. There are some folks who have really been very vocal for us on our side of the issue. They need to be bragged upon and recognized because they get complaints all the time. They need to be given some attaboy and attagirls. And I also want to bring out one person in particular, LaShawn Ford. He's from Chicago, a Democrat. He's really taken some heat. I believe he's a fellow homeschooler, but he has stood up for us. When I've read on some news articles and some posts, he is being retaliated against because he stood specifically against HB2827, and he's paying a price for that. So folks, let's show him some love. If you live especially in his district, email him and tell him you're a part of his district and say thank you for understanding that you represent us. You're representing the will of the people as a representative should, and not try to push in his own agenda against the will of the people. And personally, I'm going to email him as well. Even though I'm not part of his district, I appreciate somebody who stands for what he believes is truth. So those are some things that you can be thinking about as we go forward. Stay a part of the ICHE community during social media again. And also you can click on our website and go to the green, receive our newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter about not just political things, just about encouragement for you as you homeschool your kids. Folks, we're going to stay in the fight. We want to remind these legislators that legislators come and go, but homeschoolers remain forever. And a challenge on our end is this, that we have to get it right every single time. They only have to get it right one time. Folks, this is a gateway bill that will become increasingly intrusive. I don't care what the sponsors are saying. Don't be fooled by that. The language of the bill is very clear. This will be an increasingly intrusive bill that will affect not just our homeschooling freedoms today, but our children and grandchildren tomorrow. So thank you so much for staying with us. Keep praying, stay a part of the conversation. Thank the representatives that have stood with us, and the great majority that have. And we're going to be ready for the fight if it comes again in 2026. So God bless. This is Kirk Smith with ICHE saying have a great week.